We're at the outdoor trade show in Liverpool looking at the latest climbing equipment. When it comes to product innovation, I don't think there is anyone quite like Edelrid within the world of climbing hardware, simply because there's no one else who's just inventing categories. A few years back, Edelrid introduced the Ohm, which added resistance into the system. Now this basically allowed lighter people to belay heavier people in a safe fashion. The Ohmega, which is due out later this year, builds upon that. Now not only does it add in resistance, but it also has a pulley in. And the combination means that you get an extremely efficient system when you're pulling up the rope, but when you're falling, you don't fall for miles. You have the ability to add in incrementally different levels of resistance. In this mode just here, it's 10 kilos. Half and half is 20. And finally, the most resistance you can add is 30 kilos. Now, whilst the Ohmega is undoubtedly at its best when it comes to that weight differential in between lead and belayer, I would use this potentially even without that difference, simply because of the pulley. If you are climbing long pitches, you will notice a massive difference whilst pulling up the rope if you have that pulley on, compared to if you just had a standard quick draw attached to your first bolt. The other big bonus of the Ohmega is the fact that it doesn't matter where your belayer is stood. With the Ohm, if your belayer was stood quite far out, you could sometimes get a bit more resistance than you wanted whilst pulling up slag, but that is not the case with the Ohmega. Even though it's only June, the Ohmega is without doubt going to be included within our Gear of the Year. It is probably one of the most innovative bits of kit I've seen in recent years, and keep an eye out for our first look video coming out soon.
Very exciting news from Wild Country. We have a new friend. Wild Country has taken their last generation friend and sort of tweaked and updated what was already sort of a very good cam. The standout feature on this new cam is the magic cord. This is a doubled up cord that can be extended like a sling would, but sort of has like a nice feel and like robustness about it. The addition of this cord is a nice feature. It's snag free to pull open and looks really durable. This new version of the Friend actually keeps a lot of the good fundamentals from the last version. It has the hollowed axles, which is quite unique to the Friend, and the ergonomics on the trigger have been improved. On the larger sizes, Wild Country have also introduced this locking system, which holds the cam nicely closed when it's on your harness and can be easily released. This locking feature is something that we've seen on other cams, but we've not seen it on Wild Country Friends before, so it looks like a really good addition.
For Spring/Summer 2026, Black Diamond are releasing an updated Camalot. Now this isn't a massive overhaul, it's still fundamentally the exact same unit. It's still got all those things you like about Camalots, namely its twin axle and that superior size range. Camalots, after all, have a greater range whilst contracting and expanding them. They can go down smaller and out bigger than your average because they do not use that 13.75 degree camming angle. Anyway, the big change within the Camalot is within the sling. Now the traditional nylon sling is still available if durability is what you're after, but if you're after the extension, this is infinitely superior. Now from my perspective as a UK trad climber, this is exactly what you want because it enables you to carry one less quick draw, which is a significant weight saving when applied throughout the rest of the system. The Camalot is still a firm favourite, and I suspect this will become the commonplace model throughout the UK in years to come. For 2026, DMM are bringing out the Wisp, and this is designed primarily as an alpine or mountaineering quick draw or carabiner. It comes in 12 centimetres, 18 centimetres and as a really nifty sling draw or alpine draw. Now whilst they are designed with the Alps in mind, they'd also be perfect for lightweight trad climbing. If you're carrying a fair few of these, you'll definitely notice a weight saving over the likes of even their super light Phantom carabiner. Now one of the things that DMM have always done really well is look at how the quick draw carabiner handles. And in the case of a small quick draw carabiner, the thing you want to know the most is whether or not it handles well and if it's easy to use with gloves on. And that's why DMM have looked really closely at how big and how wide the gate opens. It's still really easy to use despite its small size, which is important because you don't want to have to fumble it and drop it. They'll also be sold individually and in different colours, so you can buy them for racking cams, which they're particularly good at due to how narrow they are. The Wisp is scheduled to be available in January, so keep an eye out when it comes around. Unlike a lot of the products at the show, which are out in spring-summer 2026, so next year, the Janja collection by Camp is out and available now. Janja Garnbret needs little or no introduction. She is a double Olympic gold winner and has won just about every climbing competition there is to win. And she's done so several times. And so within this collection, the nice thing about it is that it provides quite a good price point. So it's all competitively priced, reasonable, but it offers a good level of performance. And within the collection, you've got the quick draw, it's a cool color and comes in 12 or 18 centimeters with a nice wide tape, which is great for bread pointing routes, easy to grab. The Photon is also the lightest full-size carabiner, so they're pretty light too, with the 12 centimeter coming in at 91 grams. Also within the collection, there is a screw gate and a harness with fixed leg loops and 4 gear loops. And the chunky chalk is coming out next year. For spring-summer 2026, Black Diamond are updating the rest of their harness collection. So you've now got 4 stages of development. You've got the Momentum, which is their nice entry-level price point. You've got the Solution, the Zone, and then their top-end AirNet. So the Solution here complements the Solution Guide, which is coming out later this year. Now, whereas the Solution Guide is focused on trad, mountaineering, the Solution is focused on sport. Now, one of the areas that's been improved within both the Solution and the Zone is the size of the gear loops used. Now, Black Diamond's gear loops historically used to be quite small, but these have been updated so they are much, much larger, maximizing all of the space available. Plus, there is a massive rear gear loop as well, which is great for things like belay equipment. The Solution also features Black Diamond's Infinity belay loop. So this is the one without any stitching whatsoever. And this is a trickle down from their AirNet top of the line harness that was released a few years back. The Zone has a very similar set of features, but for the fact that it is constructed very, very differently. It uses a variable width webbing, which varies from small, where it's through the buckles, through to around the back of the harness and the sides of the legs, where it's expanded wide so that you can distribute your weight across a wider surface area. When it comes to pricing, the Solution comes in at a bargainous £80, which is really good value for such a great looking harness, and the Zone comes in at 110. Troll were founded back in 1965 by Tony Howard. Throughout the 80s and 90s, they produced some iconic pieces of equipment like their famous Omnipan. Right now they're having a resurgence and the collection is growing. We reviewed their bouldering mat a couple of years ago and got really good reception back at the time. They're also in the process of bringing out a new bouldering mat, a crag bag and a range of clothing. The harness, however, is looking a little dated. Watch this space over the coming months and we'll be reviewing some of their latest products.